Good morning. Happy Friday, bitches. I hope you're well. Okay, just going to give people a moment to join us live. If you're hanging out with us on the replay later, this is the weird stalling part, but hang in there. You'll have a chance to join the conversation and have some fun with us. Oh, and enjoy this beautiful Friday morning in our world. So good. Such a good day. Like, it's one of those days. Yeah. Good morning, Kelly. How are you feeling this morning? You feeling better? Hmm. Oh, that first coffee in the morning. There's really nothing better than the first sip of coffee in the morning. Good grief. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. It's been a week, hasn't it, people? It's been a week. So I feel like it's a powerful fuck it Friday in just that us getting rid of this week is amazing, right? Let's just get rid of it. Daryl, good morning, my friend. How are you? Miss your face. So, yeah, I don't know about you. If you've had a week that's just felt, I don't know if it, I don't know if we would use the word emotional, but I think that usually falls in relatively good. I've seen a lot of people saying that they felt they felt it this week, whether that's full moon energy that you believe in, or you just had one of those weeks, or it chalks up to this time of year. But I think that ultimately, throughout the month of December is kind of when we need to lean in our connection the most, when we have an opportunity to connect with people where we feel safe, where we feel we belong, where we feel we are welcome. And I hope that Virtual Coffee Club is a space like that for you. And let's lean into each other this month, because I think there's some interesting challenges that come around this time of year. One is just when it's darker, for those who watch in North America, when it's darker, it's just feels harder sometimes. Good morning, Angie. To be feeling like you feel darker also. A lot of shadow work, a lot of internal shadow work comes up through this time of year, because we are just also in a darker place, literally, as well as figuratively. I think that the holidays always pose an interesting mixed bag of emotions for people for this time of year, for sure. There's lots of things that come up in just even, I think, as humans, when we cycle through the end of a year, going into the beginning of a new year, we automatically go into reflection mode. Do you know what I mean? So even if you're somebody who doesn't, say, set resolutions or goals or create intentions for a brand new year or any of that stuff, I think just our human nature brings us to a place where we reflect back on our past year, and we think about what we've done, where we've been, who was in our life, who is now not in our life, what that looks like moving forward. We shift automatically into that reflective mode. And sometimes that can feel really great, right? We have days where we can step into a place where we can celebrate so easily and so beautifully. And then there's days where it doesn't feel great. And those are the days I want to remind you to check in with somebody, send them a message. Like, it can be me, it can be someone in your life, but just send a message to someone to be like, I just need to check in today. Or if you know that there's people in your life that appreciate a check-in, and maybe you don't talk to them that often, but maybe they're the people that you check in with from time to time. I think this month is a month where we should check in. This week, if you follow energy sort of work in any way, or you find it fascinating like I do, this full moon that was on Wednesday was the final one of 2022, and it packed with it a pretty good punch for reflection, for knowing your words, knowing where you want to go with next. I think there was a lot of emotion around it. If you're in a place of transition, it was powerful in and continues to be so in when you're striving for something, when you're headed for the change that you know is coming. It made you feel impatient this week, that you wanted that to occur and you wanted those elements to occur right now. But just reminding ourselves that the timelines that we set are not necessarily the timelines that God sets. And we're just here for the ride. We're just here for the ride. How's what snow? Melting, hopefully, Mike. Thank you. Angie, I see you're feeling the same. Yep, hang in there, girl. So, anyway, that's what's on my mind. So I feel like this week for people, it was, and there's a lot of, it's cold and flu season. So I think there's a lot of that coming into play, and people are just feeling crappy. People are just feeling run down. And it's a reminder also that we got to take care of each other too. So I don't know if you want to ninja vitamins to your friends or what that looks like, but just reminding yourself that as we start to go in a place too, where if you get the opportunity to wind down for the holidays and you get the opportunity once we get to them to take a break, when you are going, it's kind of almost as if your body and your brain is in flight mode. And when you're in flight mode, when you have the opportunity to just chill the fuck out for a moment, your body, that's when it's inevitable. That's when you're going to probably catch something also. And so just giving yourself that time, do some shots of orange juice in the morning, have a little bit of fun with it, add some extra vitamin C, add some immunity boosters into your world, because it's just that way. And let's be honest, I'm not going to open the COVID debate, but we stayed away from so many germs with masks and endless bottles of hand sanitizer and all of those things for almost 3 years. So guess what? We're going to get sick with something. It's just going to happen. But I don't want you to fear that. I don't want you to stay in the place of fear. I want you to be like, yeah, when you feel gross, when you feel like I had a stuffy nose the last couple weeks and I've been immunity boosting the crap out of it, but I've been taking more opportunities to rest because that's what our bodies need to fight off the yuckiness. Anyway, that's where that's at. But just like mentally, this month is a tough one. Mentally, this is like the marathon month. And I want you to also, I don't know, what pops into my brain right now is I want to remind you to give yourself grace this month. So much beautiful grace, because we've had guests, right, in the last couple of weeks that have been chatting with us about that, the perceived pressures. Now there might be real pressures out there too, but I think a lot of times we perceive those pressures. But managing pressure, managing expectation, managing what you think and who you think you should be for the holiday season versus who you really are for that holiday season. Okay. So sitting in with how you want, like we chatted with Tia and Christelle and Jen over the last couple of weeks, is like, how do you want the holidays to feel to you? If you want them to feel calm and peaceful and intentionally connected with your friends or family or yourself, whatever that looks like, then you got to do the actions that get you to that place instead of the actions everybody else wants you to be. And I know that's not easy. And I know that requires some additional work. And maybe you don't have the brain power for that this year. Maybe this is just the year that you are acknowledging to yourself that you want things to look differently, but you don't have the strength this year to put that plan into action. In comes grace. Okay, then that's the goal for next year. Or maybe that's the goal for one day. Maybe you want to take one day where you're focused on the calm and the peace and the relaxation and the connection and setting your intention. And you can't have it for the whole month because you're not there yet. One day, 1 hour, one afternoon, whatever that looks like. But please give yourself the grace to get through those pieces and allow some of these things to rise to the surface. Because as you reflect, as you step into reflection mode, and I really don't think there's a human on this earth who isn't going to reflect at some point this month over this past year. We humanly are going to do this. I want you to give yourself grace in that. And I want you to remember Grace's best friend, gratitude. Because when stuff feels sticky, shitty, crappy, uncomfortable, unsure, whatever that looks like, when you attach gratitude to it, it'll flip for you. And I know that sounds like you're like, Jody, you've been watching too many Hallmark movies. P.S. There's no such thing as too many Hallmark movies. And secondly, no, it works. I have tried this in my darkest hours, in my worst feeling places that I have been. I have sat in that darkness and went, okay, what is my lesson here? What is the gift I've been given here? Because in everything, even if it's not happy, there is a lesson and there is a gift. And when you can find it, the hurt doesn't leave you. I'm not going to say that. It does not leave you, but it lessens because you're able to focus on what you were given through that. Again, it's not easy. Nothing in this world is easy. I've had several conversations with people over the last few weeks about, like, especially if you reflect and look into inner work, right? The the meme I think come up was like, whose fucking idea was it to do inner work? Because once you start, for one, you can't stop. And two, it's not easy, friends. But I promise you, the other side of it is the most beautiful utopia you will get to. I promise you that. Lisa says, I found setting boundaries around any of the holidays were the hardest. Huge feelings of letting others down or ruining the holiday. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa, because I think that's a big one. But when did, and I think we have to remind ourselves that on any time we feel the feelings of letting other people down or ruining someone something, you are taking control of their feelings. We don't get to do that. We don't get to do that. And maybe somebody will be hurt or let down or changed. And that's never anybody's intention, but that's not yours to carry. The only bag we can carry is our own. So what are you putting into it? And what do you want that to look like? I myself just do not want to carry a heavy bag anymore. I'm tired of that, like so tired of that. So what's coming out of it, right? Everybody else's feelings, everybody else's expectations or emotions towards me have to come out of that bag because they're not mine to carry. We don't have to be chivalrous and carry other people's feelings for them. If that metaphor makes sense. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. However, the better you can feel, the more you can take off your chest, the more you can step into what authentically feels great to you, the more grace and gratitude that you can add to your dynamic, the brighter your light shines. And you know what, friends? When your light is shining, other people's will too. We automatically, by doing what is best for ourselves, whether you want to call it self-love, whether you want to call it accepting your own self, whatever words resonate with you, when we do that for ourselves, we ultimately give other people permission to do the same. And I know that we have people in our lives, maybe ourselves included, who can't step into that until we feel like we've been given permission on whatever scale that looks like. And I know that sounds kind of crazy when you think about it, but it's true. But once we can open up the permission gate, friends, we can all be in this beautiful place. We really love as humans to hold on to suffering. We feel like suffering is the way through, suffering is the answer. If we didn't suffer enough, we don't deserve the beautiful outcome. All of that stuff is lies. It's things that we have told ourselves. So, what's your narrative? And I feel like I'm really on a ramble this morning. In that, please feel free to join the conversation in the comments. I want to know where you're sitting and how you're feeling. But I just felt it on my heart today to be like, it's a grace and gratitude reminder because this month is hard. And this moon this week was hard. And fitting in your kids' Christmas concerts and sporting events and work parties and wanting to connect with friends and getting your baking done and your Christmas shopping. And guys, shit's tight for everybody this year. It's expensive out there. It doesn't feel like all of that together. It feels like a lot. So my reminder to you in those moments is to breathe. Guys, breathing is like, I have learned so beautifully this year, our gift of breath. And I share that in every meditation class that we do is we do a breath work exercise. Because ultimately, if you think of a lot of people have a connotation in their mind that meditating is you have to be able to like lie down still and not do anything for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever that looks like. But even if you take 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and just breathe, it's going to make a huge amount of difference in your day. I promise you that. I promise you that. So breathe. That's the other. Grace, gratitude, and breath. And you got this. And just know, like, we strive so much. I've had so many mom friends reach out to me in the last little bit, and we've talked about like the pressure for Christmas to be perfect. That's another one of the things we have in our narrative that we need to change. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be. So, fuck it Friday. What do you got to get off your chest? What do you want to let go in today? What do you want to start this weekend with? There's lots of fun activities happening. I feel like I felt for the first time in a while, I felt pretty good Christmas spirit yesterday. My friends Corey and Dina and I, who run a organization called Foothills Angel, we got to go start our shopping for the 10 families that we are going to be blessing for the holiday season. It felt pretty freaking amazing to look at that list yesterday, start piling the things from the wish lists, calling and talking to families, letting them know that somebody's coming in to support them for the holidays. And I was talking to this one beautiful woman who she just started to cry when I told her what we were doing. And she just said, gosh, my husband hasn't slept in days because he's been stressing so much about how we would make Christmas happen. Guys, that hurts my heart. It's reality. We want, especially if you're a parent, we want this beautiful Hallmark Christmas movie scenario to happen for our kids and for our family and for our things. And sometimes sometimes we focus a lot on the things. I'm not saying these families are doing that because when you're in a tight space, everything about it feels overwhelming. And I'm so grateful to everybody who donates to Foothills Angels so that we are able to help as many families as we can. But that's just the reality of people's feelings. I don't want people to be losing sleep. We need sleep. It's what powers us back up. I know if I don't get enough sleep, I am not a fun person to be around. That I can admit wholeheartedly. But yeah, that's what's on my mind for you today. Thank you for checking this out, whether you're here with me live now. Please feel free to throw something up in the comments. If you're catching the replay, you're still welcome to join that conversation. If you need to reach out to somebody or could use some additional support over the holiday season, please do so. There's an interesting, I'm looking for a guest to come on and chat with us about it, but you might have seen people's Facebook posts over the last couple of weeks that in Canada, for those of you who watch in Canada, they've created a new number that you can call if you are not feeling safe within your own self. So much like you can call 911 if you have an emergency, you can now phone 988 in Canada and you will be connected with someone who can help walk you through if you feel like you no longer want to be in this world. If you feel like anything is too overwhelming for you, and if you think that you might harm yourself, or you think that might be the answer. And friends, there's more of us in this world that come to that space and that mindset than you will ever know. You can call 988. So when you see those messages, feel free to share them onto your Facebook and let's spread the word. But just keep that in mind. If you're feeling like all of the things of grace and gratitude aren't going to be what could help you today, please call 988. 988 is the number you can call, and you will immediately be connected with somebody who can walk you through and support you. And you know what? If you need to call that number at any time, I want you to know it is beautiful and brave, and it is not shameful, and it is not any of the things that you tell yourself of why you shouldn't call. That is all lies. That's all part of a narrative that you are carrying. That is not true. So I'm going to remind you again that you can call 988 anytime. Okay, my friends, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Remember grace and gratitude and take a breath. You know what? I feel that for a moment, even though I'm a little bit plugged this morning. So pardon my sniffly nose sounding, but I want you, if you're able, if you're in a place where you could close your eyes for a moment, I'd like you to close your eyes. Okay. Now I want you to take a long, slow, deep breath in. I want you to hold it. And I want you to release. One more time, breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth. We're going to do it one more time. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. And really just sigh it out. Just let it go. And then open your eyes. You can do that as many times as a day as you need. It allows you to start to slow down your heart rate, calm your parasympathetic nervous system, and give yourself a break. I love you. Have an amazing rest of your Friday and your weekend. And we will see you back here Monday morning at 9 a.m.